I forget what the other one ability she has. So we missed a few of the kills here, but we actually end up getting an early kill on him. I think right about now, I think we end up getting it. So that's pretty good. Again, just watching for those opportunities, and being 2v1 in a lane I like a lot better than obviously having 2v2, but it can work for your advantage in both ways. You just kind of you eyeball your opponents, you know. That Troll Warlord is not a bad player. He ends up getting a lot of really good items later. He gets a Burzy and some other stuff. He just bought a Troll Town Portal to get back to the bottom, so you know he's kind of an experienced player. He knows what he's doing. He's not a newer player. He just happened to get caught up in my Sprout and then get it caught up in Lena's stun, so... So you just kind of, again, be aware of that. I'm jumping around a little bit more. I wanted to go over another Sprout ability. I'm actually running right now from almost certain death from that Troll Warlord chasing me down. Had he bought Boots of Travel, he probably would have been able to catch up with me and catch me, but I wanted to go over how Sprout works as far as creep blocking. You notice I have two ghouls on the I'm on the bottom lane quarter at the first tower, or I guess that's the second tower in the lane. There's two ghouls that are stopped there, and basically they're stopped there because I sprouted them there early in the game, and some people refer to this as, well, I guess it's actually called, the technical term is creep blocking, and most people do that with their heroes that have really big collision size. Heroes like the Centaur War Chief, heroes like Pudge and things like that can use their collision size to block the creeps on their way down to the path. And doing this allows the enemy creeps to come further and maybe closer to your tower, or allows your creeps to be further back and away from their tower. And also, if you keep them back and they're not moving at all from way back there, that instantly denies those first two creeps from being used as experience or gold from my enemies. So I like doing that a lot. Some people kind of consider it an exploit. I've been told it's an exploit at some point. So be aware of, you know, which game you're in. If it's a ban-listed game, be aware, you know, if it's a TDA game, ask, you know, if the host cares about it, see if he mentions it or something like that, and just don't do it again. But, you know, I talk about how ban list works and how my opinions on that during the, again, in that text document, which is going to be the bulk of this guide, and the details in that guide are actually coming from the text document, not necessarily my audio commentary. So yeah, use Sprout on your ally creeps, your creeps, as they're coming, the first wave, to block them. I actually did this a little too far back. Normally I do it right at at the last tower. That way, if they basically come back to life when they're in range of any ally, so, or any enemy. So if, you know, they start pushing again, then I can start having my creep wave help me push it again, which is nice. Furion's a really good denier. Last hitting, you know, he's got a good bit of natural range damage. So just kind of hold Alt if you don't already do this again. This is basic kind of Warcraft / Dota skills here. You really want to be aware of the hit points of the units here, and if your units are almost dead and you can get in there and get the last hit on them by pressing A and you manually attack them, you can deny them, and you press -DI or CS on to see that. You can see those statistics. Right now I'm actually not doing too hot. I got 8 kills, 1 deny. Normally I'm pretty good about that. I do a little bit better, but it just kind of depends when you catch me, you know, what kind of mood I'm in. And again, that's another thing you can kind of gauge on your opponents. Are they denying a lot? Are they getting the last hits a lot? You know, are they keeping you denied a lot? You know, so you can kind of gauge your opponent's skill level at, and you can see what you can get away with just by seeing if your opponent's going to be denying or not, or not, you know. Right there, you just noticed me using Sprout and actually created my tree ants, my Force of Nature from Sprout. Now, I go over this a little bit in the guide, but technically, you can get 5 tree ants out of it, so you could perform a surround on your enemy unit, or on your target, whatever target you want. Obviously, your enemy is what you're shooting through that on. However, I've never been able to successfully complete a surround in Dota with my tree ants. However, you know, as I said in my guide, I'm sure Moon can do it. I'm sure some people with better micro can do it. However, if you use that ability on Sprout while they're sprouted, they actually are formed in a more northerly position, and they're not formed where the trees were. So you can't just sprout from them and then move click, you know, press M and then right click on your opponent to get those trees to surround them. It actually takes a good bit of, you know, moving around. Once you get the Necromonicon, that actually increases the movement speed of your units. Anything that you can get an aura that does that will help. You know, obviously, you know, any auras obviously that help with that will help you get the surrounds better. You know, you see a lot of Orc players will use, you know, speed scrolls to jump around and get surrounds on your heroes, or bring raiders in range and stuff like that. It's the same principle. If you can somehow get your units into position and perform this round, then by all means, you know, go for it. Alright, so we're about 15 minutes in the game. I'm at like 14:30. Go ahead and pause the game at the, let's go 16 minutes. We'll do 17. 17-minute mark, and we're going to up the replay speed again. So I'm going to go ahead and jump up there to the 17-minute mark, and then we're going to up the speed to 3x speed for the, probably the good majority of the game. We'll probably up it again at maybe 30 minutes to the 4x speed, but for now, get to 17-minute mark, and pause it, and then we're going to up it to a 3x speed. So 17 minutes, 3x speed. I'm getting there relatively quickly, but if you're not there, I'll give you some time in a second. And then I'm just going to pause it, and if you're not there, again, obviously pause the audio commentary, restart the replay, get it to the 17-minute mark, and then restart the audio commentary itself. So I'm at the 17:03 mark, whatever, it's pretty close, and I'm at 3x speed. Go ahead and pause this audio, because I'm just going to kind of continue with my rant. We're going to unpause in 5 seconds. So 17 minutes, 3x speed, unpausing in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. I'm at the point in the game, again, we're getting close to the 20-minute mark where I'm considering jumping around and doing a lot of pushing. I haven't had too much success taking down the Troll Warlord. We were able to kill him once. My teammate, very, very talkative and very, very cocky, and not that skilled at sometimes. You know, they're very, very greedy, so it's hard to rely on them. So you never rely on your teammates, especially, I mean, if you're in a public game. If you're in a game of in-house league or something like that, you can't rely on them to do anything for you. Even if you tell them, you know, what you're doing, don't expect them to come up. You know, always have a backup plan, and you know, do your best as a teammate in a public game to kind of be aware of other situations and how you can take advantage of that. So. You notice in a lot of my games that I don't really start getting my ultimate, and I go over this in the guide again at 10 and 11. I also opt for not getting the 4th level Sprout. I stop at a level 3, and I don't get the 4th level Sprout usually until level 25, just because it's a higher mana cost and it's only an extra 0.75 of a second, 3/4 of a second, I guess, of a Sprout duration. So. Especially the lower end game, and if I haven't gotten my big item yet, typically, like, you know, if I haven't gotten my Robe of the Magi or Staff of Wizardry or something, or both hopefully, I don't want to invest in having something that's going to be really mana intensive. So by level 11, I'm now using my level 2 of Wrath of Nature, and I want to spam that as often as possible, in addition to spamming my Hand of Midas to start creating that golden income, again, that farming. So you just saw right there, just because of my Pudge experience in the middle there, I was able to kind of dodge that Pudge's hook, kind of know that he was coming out of the background and get out of the way of it. So definitely a good little, you know, move there. It's pretty good. And we're gonna have to pay attention to this Zeus player a little bit. He does a really good job of, again, he's doing a good job of watching out, you know, the general area and kind of keeping his eye on all points of the map and seeing if a player is low or where he can position himself to get the kills on any enemy units. So he's definitely not a non-skilled player there. He knows what he's doing. And, you know, you realize that. So I pretty much avoid Zeus, any direct confrontations with him the whole game. And I would only go after him, even in a late game, if I have allies with me. Because I know I can't toe-to-toe him. I know that he's probably a better player than I am, and I don't even want to risk it, not even once, trying to kill him. Still kind of watching where I'm at now. I'm jumping around a little bit, trying to jump on the map, but you notice a lot of the times, and I get reamed for this a lot after the matches, but I will typically run away in bad situations. If it looks like the majority of my team is going to die, I will run from that. And I won't die, and my team might say, hey, you know, if you would have stayed, maybe we would have got it. Possibly, but I didn't want to risk that. And, you know, it benefits a Furion to not die very often and to continue that gold income. Again, just for pushing purposes, you get those high-end items like level 3 Necromonicon. You get a Helm of the Dominator to, you know, to persuade you know, some creeps to help you push. You get those high-end items. You get a Mana Style, you know, things that create images to